firefighter breathing smoke and flame, teacher in a class calling every kid by name. And don't forget the hands that clean, the ones who work behind the scene. Trash gets picked, lights stay on because of folks that just push on. Salute to service, hear the stories unfold of heroes young and the brave and bold. From chalkboard lines to the engine's roar, to the garbage truck and the grocery store. American born with hearts ablaze, fist in the air as the eagle sways. They don't wear capes but they save the day. So we salute to service the American way.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Salute to Service. We are back for another one. I am at home on my PC, and as you can tell, Boogie is you're camping.
Yep.
You have been a
Mhm.
you have been a camping somebody the last few weeks.
Yeah, I take the chance every time me and my wife can.
I don't blame you. I would too. That's yeah. I don't blame you at all. So today, Boogie, we are going to talk corrections and dispatch. What it takes to do those jobs, how difficult those jobs are and can be, and whether or not we think would be able to do them. And if anybody wants to join us on this, feel free. We'd love to get some input from other people. So we'll start, Boogie, with 911 dispatchers. What do you think are qualifications and skills that you need to be a 911 dispatcher?
One, talking, not like I am right now, but talking pretty good. Be able to multitask big time because you gotta be able to talk to the people in 911 and dispatching the police or fire or EMS. Computer skills for sure. You're gonna be having type down the addresses and all that, where the call's coming from, people's names, what's injured, and all that stuff. So you gotta be very good at multitasking for sure, and be able to handle high stress situations because it could be somebody calling in that they're talking about maybe killing themselves or they're being held hostage or anything really. So you got a lot of stress that could come your way at a fast pace. So
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's dispatchers out there that have talked people through delivering babies, and there's probably dispatchers out there that have talked people out of a lot of bad situations. So I've done a little research on what it takes, generally to be a dispatcher, and you hit on a lot of them: communication skills, decision making abilities, being able to make decisions quick and in a hurry. Um, you said organizational skills, and then physical and mental fitness is also on here. Computer proficiency, of course, because as a 911 dispatcher, you are on the computer quite a bit. So training, as far as 911 dispatchers, Boogie, what do you think the length of training should be for a 911 dispatcher?
length of training, I say at least about 3 4 months or maybe more, depending on where you're at with your capabilities. Because I know some stuff will take time from the get, but that's why I should not rush through training or nothing. Because if you do, it's going to cause issues and problems for the public when they're trying to actually do their job.
So,
So,
so there are um, some areas where the training is about a month, which to me doesn't seem quite long enough. That seems like they're pretty much throwing you through it to get you on there as quick as they can. And then in other places, they can take up to a year or more worth of training before you actually get turned loose on your own. So the training depends, I guess, depends on the area you're in and what type of call volume they deal with. So, and then, do you think you could be a dispatcher? Do you think you'd be good at it? I mean, what?
No, I think I'll suck at it really bad because trying to remember some stuff that people say, even at my job, it's like, oh crap, now I gotta try to remember what they just ordered because I might not be at the thing. So, no, I think I'll be very poor at it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, my typing skills are horrible, so therefore, I'm a slow typer, and then my memory is crap. So I'm going to get behind typing and then have to try to remember what they said, and then I'm going to forget what they said and have to ask them again. Yeah, no. In a high stress situation, I would completely fail at that particular job. I mean, dispatchers are, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Boogie, but they are the first line when it comes to public service for fire,
Yeah,
EMS, and police.
yeah, they pretty are sure because they're the first ones to talk to whoever calls in for their disaster that happens. Like if it's a fire, they're first person they're talking to. It might not even be somebody that happened to them, but they're usually the first ones because they're trying to get all the information. You might have to, if somebody's down and needs CPR, they might have to tell them what the process, what to do, and how to do it, what the properly, how to do it. So yeah, they're the first in line for it.
I mean, like with me, I don't know that I could talk somebody through performing. I mean, I know the steps and I know how to do it, but trying to talk somebody that's hysterical and in a panic, trying to talk them through doing CPR on a loved one. I don't know if I would be able to do that. Or somebody calls in, and they are angry and holding people at gunpoint, trying to talk them down or keep them on the line so you can get information. I don't know if I'd be any good in those scenarios, even if my other skills like my typing and all that. I don't know that I could do it.
So in the state of Wisconsin, you gotta get a emergency dispatcher certificate, which can be completed in less than a year at a technical college here in Wisconsin, and then you go as a new hire. Typically, for here, it's 8 to 10 weeks training period with a specific agency. So, and they also are required to get their emergency medical dispatch certification too. And that can be only obtained in a 3-day course, though, here in Wisconsin. So it could be up to 2 months to over 2 months training here in Wisconsin.
So in North Carolina, you have to have a minimum of 47 hours of instruction to get the telecommunicator certification. Um, then North Carolina Office of Emergency Medical Services, you have to go through a course that's offered by them and complete it. And all 911 operators must complete at least 16 hours of continuing education annually, with at least 8 hours focusing on a topic recommended by the board. And that's just to be a dispatcher in North Carolina. So, I mean, it seems like Wisconsin and North Carolina both, they require the dispatchers to have a good amount of training in order to even be considered for a position.
Just even to get an interview, you gotta have the certification. And I know somebody that I worked with at one of my jobs. They had an interview for one, and they are not pretty easy going. You have an officer actually sitting there. You're not to talk to them. You're not to say nothing to them. You're supposed to pretend they're there, and it's nerve wracking. I was told.
So in Wisconsin, I don't, every state varies and every state's different. So would your dispatchers, if you know, do y'all have one dispatcher that handles EMS, fire, and police, or are your dispatchers split up to where you've got one that handles just fire, one that handles just EMS, one that just handles law enforcement?
No, no, they all or well, at least the county I'm in, they handle everything. 911 handles all fire, EMS, police, everything.
Because I know in certain states, and even here in North Carolina, some counties they do have, you'll have like 5 dispatchers on shift, and one dispatcher will be strictly EMS, one will be strictly fire, one will be strictly law enforcement, and then one person, is just answers, or one person answers the phones and gets all the information while the other ones are dispatching out the call for the particular service.
Now, I don't know if somebody else is doing the dispatching while they're on the phone with somebody. I don't know about that part in Wisconsin. But I know when you dial 911, you get a dispatcher and they will handle all the calls for there. But I know if there was a massive things going on all over the county, we would have somebody at the station report to the station, and they'll take all the 911 calls for the city. If any calls would come in for the city, they would transfer the calls to the station. Then, if there was a mass thing going on, like if there's a mass shooting somewhere in the county or that, or they would then dispatch every department to have their own dispatchers out and take the 911 calls. They would have one person take the call. If it's for the city, they transfer it to that city right away. The call.
Yeah, I don't know. That would seem like that's where that job would get really hectic, is in a mass casualty situation like that. Where
Yeah,
you're having to all, you got 4 or 5 dispatchers all having to work together to be able to handle one situation.
yeah. Fortunately, I believe our county's got lucky with not having to deal with that much. But it can be hectic. I've seen videos where it gets hectic. So,
So, we'll shoot over to the next one, and that is correctional officers. Are men and women in our jails and our prisons that handle inmates on a day-to-day basis, every day. So, with correctional officers, you generally need to be a U.S. citizen. I don't know why they would even put that up there. Um,
right?
at least 18 years old. Some states require you to be 21. Again,
Wisconsin's one of them.
I think North Carolina you had to be 21 too. And then you have to have a high school diploma or GED. GED. Again, don't know why that's in there. That seems like that's another thing that should be, common sense.
Getting sued, they're just covering their butts there for not so they don't get sued.
Right. And
Because if
then,
there somebody is not listed there and they try to play, well, I'm sorry, but you don't have a diploma, so we can't. Well, you didn't have to say that in your listing. So they're just covering their tuskus on that part. Because you know how some people now these days find any little thing.
and
So
then you have to pass background checks, medical and psychological evaluations, fitness test, um, and some and this applies more to like your federal prisons. They want you to have a bachelor's degree and or related experience in that field. I know here all of our correctional officers have to get sprayed with pepper spray. That's part of getting the job. You got to get sprayed.
I'm not sure here. I actually know since we brought up this thing, I got a nurse I can talk to. He works in a medium security prison in in the county we live in, so might be able to convince him to come on the
And
show.
and now uh, here in our county, the prisons, some of your like captains and higher up guys in the prison system are getting tasers. So you know what that means.
People are going to have to start getting tased to get the job.
Yep, if you want one of those higher up positions, and eventually I think it's going to trickle on down. Not only are you going to have to get pepper sprayed, but you're going to have to get tased. So you can count this guy out of ever doing corrections.
Well, you don't want to be tased.
No, sir. You spray me with pepper spray. I am not. Nope. Don't want to ride the lightning. Not at all. Could care less to do that.
Have you ever been tased?
No, and I never want to be tased. I know that crap hurts.
So you better never ever run from the cops then.
I don't intend to. And if I ever run from the cops, I'm staying at a taser range. Look, there's two things that I never want to experience when it comes to that. One is the taser, and two, the dog. I no, I don't want any part of either one of those.
Yeah, but if you get trained with the dog, you'll be wearing a very thick padded suit. You'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, all right. Training with the dog is fine,
Don't run from the dog.
but I'm not doing it without that thick suit on. So if I ever run from the cops and they turn the dog loose, I'm gonna have to get the dog to stop long enough for me to put on a thick padded suit.
I don't think the dog's get away.
Well, I'll throw him a piece of steak or something. Maybe that'll distract him long enough for me to put on my padded suit. Nope. You got me messed up. If you, no.
I've done it with the dog because my uncles, they had a German Shepherd and they had the padded suit. So, yeah, that was fun. Try to see how far you can get without getting caught by the dog, then get far.
So, tall ass leprechaun said, I feel like you do it, get it over with. Not saying it wouldn't suck, but you do it and it's done. And yeah, you're right. You do it, get it over with, you're done. But the suck's still gonna suck.
For the people actually wonder why they went in your training and that if you're getting why you're getting pepper sprayed and why you're getting tased for this, be able to even get the job, it's because they want you to know how it feels that before you actually do it to somebody, because then you're not saying you're going to feel bad when you do it because you had to, but they want you to know how it feels so you know what they're going through and all that. So that's why it tries to deter you from trying to use it if you don't really need it.
Tall ass leprechaun, dogs would be a different story. I mean, yeah, I feel like the taser would be a lot better than the dog, but then again, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'd almost rather get bit by the dog than get shot with a taser.
Yeah.
And
Well, with the dog, it has a lot longer length than tasers do because tasers have little wires that to them. So once they hit the max length, if they ain't hitting at you, well, then it's not. That dog will run, and most likely you're going to get tired out before that fucking dog does.
oh, for sure, yeah, for sure. I mean, and with the dog too, it's gonna last longer than the taser because once the dog gets a hold of you, then you got to wait for the cop to get over there and get the dog off. To where the tasers, most tasers are what, 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess
Other thing is
it's
too, they can push a button and reactivate those same barbs. A dog, once your dog has you down and the cop has their hands on you, that dog ain't biting you no more. Unless you start fighting and they back off, and then the dog will bite your butt again.
so. Back to corrections officers, Boogie. Do you think you could do that job?
Yes,
All
they're
right.
gonna be able to, even if I had to get tased or pepper sprayed. Because once you do it, you're done. You don't have to worry about it again.
See, I'm kind of on the fence with the whole corrections thing of whether or not I could do it. I mean, I've talked to corrections officers, but I'm not the biggest guy in the world, and some of them dudes in there are, well, frankly, giant. So I don't know, but like I said, I've talked to corrections officers, and a lot of them say that most of the time the inmates are scared of the little guys more than they are the big guys.
That's what I heard too. So,
But
in fact,
I
I
don't know.
got a terrible one in my high school year. It was the meme security prison that it's in the county I live in. And yeah, it's not got to see everything. It's not what you want to see be part of for sure. If you're in the criminal side, you got no privacy. So,
Yeah,
but I think I could do.
prisons are kind of like, it's you sleep with somebody, you shower with somebody, you eat with somebody, you do everything as a big group. I reckon. Never been inside of a prison, so I don't know, or a
So
jail, so I don't know how.
so this prison, the one building we were able to, because there were different buildings. Some of them they wouldn't let us in because they're a little higher risk. But the building we went in, the where they go take showers and that, it's all in one big shower room, and you shower all together. So yeah, and it's all glass windows, so the guards can see in. They have it bought like the bottom half where it's still glass, but it's not. You can't really see through it because it's like little those block glass. They're just there. Be able to make it where your privates are hidden somewhat, give you some privacy there, but inside there is nothing except the piping for the sprayers that holds you down when you're taking your shower. So,
Now,
but they don't have one in their own cells. They have just their beds and a sink.
now I tell you one thing I would do, but I mean you still have to go through the corrections officers training, and then you know you also have to go. I think it's through law enforcement training as well. But being on one of those, the riot team, or one of the extraction teams, or something like that. Now that I could I could get down with and get into, but being just a normal corrections officer, I don't know. Mm,
You probably still had to get um, pepper sprayed or tasered being part of the riot team
Probably both.
because you're still a guard too. It's just some major thing happening in the prison. You're gonna have to go hop in their duty move suits and go.
I'd be that guy that got tased and pissed all over himself. That would be me. I'd be that guy. No doubt in my mind. Because
Yeah.
I feel like I could handle the pepper spray just for the simple fact that I went through the gas chamber in basic, the CS gas, which, I mean, basically does almost the same thing except on a different level. So I feel like I could handle the pepper spray with no problem. It's gonna burn a minute, open up your sinuses, and then it's over with. That taser, man, I just can't get on board with that thing. I don't like
So
getting
if your sin-
I don't like getting
sinuses are,
shocked.
so if your sinuses get stuffed up, then you just get pepper sprayed and be wide open. You can breathe again.
Yeah, no. I'm not down with the electrical part. I just can't. Mm-mm. I've been shocked at home working on electrical outlets, and that almost makes me wet myself. I can only imagine what that taser would do.
It's not as bad as getting electrocuted. I can tell you that. I've been there.
I don't know. I can't get.
I'm sure I'll be able to take the taser because being electrocuted is not as bad as the taser. So,
So Boogie the corrections officer. That has a nice ring to it.
right? I was kind of thinking maybe going that route. I was going to talk to my buddy. He paid pretty decent too.
Yeah, I was looking at some of that, and I mean, some of the salary ranges are actually quite. I know in North Carolina, I think it's between 39 and 50 something. So
Yep. And good insurance because you get state insurance, so your insurance has to be decent.
yeah, I
But the
mean,
problem is you don't see raises that much. At least not here
yeah.
in Wisconsin. You don't get that much raises.
Well, it's
But you're still
also.
making a pretty good penny already anyway, so I'll be set. I'll be happy.
I mean, it's also it's a state job, so it's
You know?
the state doesn't like to give out raises, or here they don't anyway. So
No, not nor here either. But you're still making $39 to $50 an hour, so it's not like you're not making enough money. But you're working a lot of days, you're in a lot of hours. So
let's
I got a
see.
question for a tall ass leprechaun there then, if he's since he's watching. Which one would you rather be, a dispatcher or a correction officer?
Yeah, anybody watching, comment. Which one would you rather do? Which one do you think you'd be good at?
And better yet, tall ass, come join us.
Yeah, get in here.
Come join
So,
us, tall ass leprechaun.
oh, okay. So in North Carolina, correctional officers' average annual salary is 49,000, with your top earners making around 62.7. So I mean, they make good money. They make really good money. Hmm. Didn't know that. I just I'll be a dispatcher. I'll do that before I go work in a jail or a prison. And I have a problem with. I don't like people not doing what you know not doing what they're asked to do the first time. I get aggravated and my temper goes off. So I think that right there would be another thing that would, well, get me in trouble.
Yeah. So the for Wisconsin, the average salary for correctional officers in Wisconsin is approximately $54,512 per year. So it's not bad. It's better than what I'm making now per year.
My computers won't act funny. Uh, Dispatchers actually in North Carolina average about the same. Uh, average average salary is 41.6, with some of them making 54. Well, might as well say 55. So I mean, they're both kind of in that same same realm.
Yeah.
But to me, they still don't get paid enough.
It's something better than what I'm making.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's more than I make, but to deal with what they deal with and to have to do what they have to do, I'm sorry. I don't think it's enough. I'm one of those that I don't I don't think that somebody playing football or baseball should make more than our military or our dispatchers, correctional officers, firefighters. It just that's not. I don't think that's right. I mean, some people disagree, but mm, what are your thoughts on that, Boogie?
Um, dispatcher, way too much for me to do. I can't remember everything. Multitask. I'm good at computer skills, but my typing sucks. My writing sucks. I can't spell for shit. So everybody be like, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" Gotta correct it. Gotta correct it. Hence why not my last job because I got sick of being yelled at with my writing. Um, correction. I know they're schooling. So, but I'm more like a corrections person, really. Way to go.
Yeah, you seem like the corrections type. You got that. To me, you have that attitude and mentality that I think you'd be really good at it. There you go, Boogie. Go apply and be a correctional officer.
And here, I know some of the corrections up. You don't have to go law enforcement training, but depending, because I know I could probably get where my buddy works. Yeah, he didn't get. He's not a law officer. He didn't go for law school or that to join that one. But if you want to get a bigger one, I'm pretty sure you have to.
Okay. So, we have covered those two topics actually a lot quicker than I thought we were going to. I figured it'd take a little longer for us to get through those. So, we're going to kind of go back to last week since Boogie wasn't able to join us for that one. Boogie, did you happen to catch any of the Army parade last weekend?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, I was too busy with work and getting ready for other stuff for this coming up holiday.
So it was quite interesting. They actually had it broke down into different time frames. Like they started all the way up, like in World War One, World War Two, and even earlier. And they had the time period correct uniforms for each one.
Damn.
Yeah, they had the time period correct uniforms. They had vehicles from those time periods. Like at one point, I think it was the Vietnam War. When they were doing the Vietnam War, they actually had a group of Hueys and Cobras that done a flyover of the parade as the guy was discussing, that time period. It was quite the sight.
Nice.
And what was even better was the fact that they had M1A1 Abrams rolling through Washington D.C. The Army projected that at a cost of anywhere between $20 and $45 million for that parade.
That's crazy.
And the high end of that was with the Army. They when they agreed to do when everything got worked out for them to do the parade in Washington, the Army told the city that any of the roads or anything that the heavy equipment like an Abram, I mean you've got an 80-ton tank rolling down Main Street. The Army told them we'll pay for any roads or anything that get messed up due to the heavy equipment going through town. And I was reading the other day that the Army didn't tear anything up.
Nice.
And yes, that's a shock to me that they didn't tear anything up.
Right?
Because
Those tracks can really rip shit up.
yeah, the Army's like a bunch of 5-year-old kids. They'll tear up anything.
Right?
What they can't tear up, they pee on.
So you little bastard, you won't tear up, or I'm pissing on you now.
Or worse than worse than a doggone raccoon. But yeah, it was quite interesting. We went through me and BB went through the time period of, when the Army was first created, and then when it went from the original name to the United States Army, and that whole time frame, which was interesting. Um, I actually learned a few things that I didn't I didn't know, so it was fun.
So, yeah, on Tuesday though was pretty good. We had at work they had a public safety night, which they call it. Half of the proceeds that what they make would goes to the police canine fund, and then they had a fire truck there. They had SWAT vehicle was there. That was fun. I climbed in it. Say I didn't have to. Come on, who wouldn't want to? They had state patrol, they had the city, they had the sheriff's department there. They were supposed to have EMS and our Flight for Life unit, but they never showed up. Supposedly, a Flight for Life had something going on, and EMS they were out for a fire. There was a house fire going on too in the county of the yeah, so not a lot of that was able to be there. Because the fire department was supposed to have multiple engines there, but they spared one of them to stay back to for the things that go into the house fire, so they could have somebody out there still for it.
So,
So
since Boogie's on his phone and he's not able to do it, we are going to cover at least the fire side until I can find the website or you can tell me the website you use for the LEO side. But I am going to share my screen.
it should be on the dock because it had everything linked. The dock for the Leo and all that. I know the military one that stopped working for some reason.
Cool.
So I could not able to update ourselves on that. Alright, scroll, 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 scroll. Come on. Oh, that's not it. Oh, maybe I can get to it though. Piece of crap. Let's see here.
All right. So, I got
Here.
this one. So, we'll start with this. Alrighty, so we'll start with the national fire news. So, total number of fires, large fires, is 37. Um, acres from all fires is 181.731. They've got 11 new fires. Um, and we have now jumped up to a total of 1.3 million acres of total land burned in 2025. and that is from 32,622 total fires this year. So we are still quite a ways away from 2024. We've doubled the number of fires, but luckily the acreage is not what it was in 2024. Alright, take that
Yeah.
one off.
Sad part about that, it can still go up.
Yes, it can, unfortunately.
Alright, all the links are working. Oh no, it's not, because something happened to my Leo one. Somehow got a bunch of E's in it.
So, firefighter fatalities. We are now at 38 in 2025. Do you remember what the number was last time, Boogie?
What's our number at?
We're at 38.
38? It went up one.
Went up one. So we have lost another firefighter since the last time we looked at this, which has been, what, about 2 weeks?
Yep.
So let's see if it's...
For some reason, law enforcement won't open up. That's weird.
So,
here we go. Okay. Here, I'll show you the. Let me send you the link.
All right.
Alright.
So
I got the
Asheville, North Carolina, on June 14th was the last firefighter fatality, and it was a female firefighter.
All right, the link's in DMs for the police.
There we go. Don't want to share that with everybody. So let me go check this. All right. So 4 police officers. We are at total line of duty deaths is 33. We have had 5 in the month of June, which according to this, it's basically stayed steady at 5. Unfortunately, it seems like we're losing 5 police officers every month. 30 of those were males, 3 of those were females.
We're at what number for police?
We are at 33.
All right, that also went up one.
Yep. We've lost 3 from gunfire, 1 from gunfire that was inadvertent, 1 heart attack, 1 stroke, 2 struck by a vehicle, and then 1 in a vehicle pursuit, and 1 due to vehicular assault. So that is, wait, is it at the top? Yep. No, you got to go down. I can't remember where. Ooh, there's the puppy dogs. So the last one was on June 8th of 2025 was his end of watch, and he was a member of the Apache Junction Police Department in Arizona. And then we covered K9 Rebel, didn't we, Boogie?
Yes, we did.
Albuquerque Police Department, Thursday,
Yep.
May 29th of 2025. So you said this has went up as well, correct?
It went up one.
Okay, so we've lost 1 more law enforcement officer. We got to quit losing firefighters and LEO. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I got good news though. Military hasn't changed yet this year. since the last time we were able to do it.
That is
Still,
that is wonderful.
still sitting at 109.
That is wonderful. We haven't lost any of our military men and women. I cannot tell you how happy I am about that. But with some of the things I've heard and read, it seems like numbers probably going to shoot up
Soon,
in the coming, probably within the coming year. Because unfortunately, it seems like we're going to put ourselves back into the position of another war.
Yep.
Well, Boogie,
Yes.
we are gonna call this one here, buddy, so you can get back
We gotta do
No,
our prayer.
I was getting there. I was getting there. Calm. But we are gonna call this one here. We're gonna do our prayer, and then we are gonna end it so you can get back to your vacation and your camping. Because I don't know about you, but if I was camping, would have been a struggle to get me in here.
Yeah, but the show's gotta go on, so I gotta make appearance.
Though that it does. The show must go on, and appreciate you taking time out of your vacation to join us. That shows a lot of dedication and heart there, buddy.
Yep. So I got one for the correctional officers for our prayer tonight. So,
Oh,
and thanks to Mr. Mark Weslick, I found this one on Facebook. Well, I looked up a prayer for correctionals, and his Facebook post of it came up. So we're going to share his.
all right.
So, Lord, when it's time to go inside that place of steel and stone, I pray that you will keep me safe, so I won't walk alone. Help me do my duty, please. Watch me on my rounds. Amongst those perilous places and slamming steel doors sounds, gotta keep my fellow officers well and free from harm. Let them know I'll be there too, whenever there's alarm. Above all, when I walk my best, no matter where I roam. Let me go back once I come to family and home. Amen.
Amen. And as always, us here at Salute to Service, as well as Squad Productions, we want to give a big shout out, a big thank you to all of our law enforcement, all of our military, all of our firefighters, all of our EMS personnel, all of our dispatchers, and all of our corrections officers, as well as all of our teachers and anybody who works in the public service sector. We want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all of you. Without y'all, this country would not work the way it does. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for your service.
Yep.
On that note, we are going to call it here, guys. We want to thank y'all for joining, thank y'all for watching us, and we will see y'all next time.
Peace.
Later.